Welcome in, everybody. Commanders training camp continued up in Ashburn today. It was the first day that the gates were open to the fans, and they came out in droves to not only support the team, but new owner Josh Harris. Tonight, team coverage with sports director Craig Loper and James Kattato up in Ashburn.
That's right. You are seeing double on your television screen. I am Craig Loper. He is James Kattato here in Ashburn, of course, for Commanders training camp. A year ago, James, you were in New York covering Buffalo Bills training camp, right? And a year later now, you're talking to Commanders fans. You're seeing this Commanders team. What are your impressions?
Well, listen, Bills Mafia definitely gets rowdy. Not as hot there as it is here, but listen, this fan base, when Josh Harris walked onto the field, I can't even. That was a player type of ovation, right, for the noise that they gave him.
Yeah, and definitely a big deal, right? $6.05 billion. He was trying to change the trajectory of this franchise that it's been on. So a very big deal there. And obviously these fans are excited for him. The players actually met Josh Harris for the first time in a meeting last night. We want to get to some sound from that, from tackle Charles Leno and a few others on meeting Josh Harris for the first time.
What I made of it is someone whose first initial impact is for the community, for the fans, first and foremost for the team, but he wants to revitalize the energy in the city, in this area, and that's something that he's going to do, and I know he's on a mission to do it.
I think that was really good for our guys to understand how the ownership feels, how that group, expects certain things, and that I believe they're setting a very high standard for us.
Our owner, he's not playing games. He's doing things above our heads to make our life easier, and that just makes us play harder and has us more motivated to keep going.
Young, of course, a proud DMV native, as is Harris. He said his mom is doing interviews about new ownership. That's how much his family is excited. He's only known Dan Snyder as the owner basically throughout his entire life. So moving on to the defensive side of the ball, James, you were over there today shooting. Anything stand out?
Well, Emmanuel Forbes, right, is the name that immediately comes off the top of the head, the 16th overall pick in this year's draft. You said it, you alluded to it earlier today, is that there's only 32 of these for a reason, right? And so when you look at somebody that a lot of publications are writing could be the most complete corner in the draft and could step in and be ready to be one of the top corners in the NFL, that's high praise for somebody that's coming out of school. And with this, you're seeing him get asked questions about first-team reps going up against Terry McLaurin in workouts, right? So the fact that I think he hit the podium today, a man of few words, to say the least.
Very little words.
But you get that with a rookie sometimes. And with him, I think he's just grateful to be there and learn from some of the vets on the team.
Well, he's one of the top receivers in the NFL. So he's just going out there, making me better each and every day, and making him better each and every day we compete. He just knows and understands routes and like stems and things like that. He knows how to use his eyes well. So I would say he has a big catch radius and he's really good at what he does.
So obviously high expectations for the rookie out of Mississippi State, but on that new diet plan as well. So ultimately we're hoping for good things for him on the field.
And he said lots of fish, right? And his nutritionist has him eating clean. He wants to put on a little weight. He said he's comfortable around 170, 180. Just kind of takeaways from today on the offensive side of the ball that I saw. Sam Howell continues to he has some good balls, right? He'll throw a good ball right on the money, but he'll miss sometimes, right? Yeah. Whether that's footwork or whether that's the way the ball is released. He's continuing to grow. Of course, he's a second-year player. A guy that I got some shots of today, Brian Robinson, looks really good. He looks really lean. We are going to hear from him tomorrow. But I did ask, going back to Charles Leno, about Robinson's development.
You can see it already with the catching ability. He's been doing some catching out of the backfield, but it's also developing in like the passing game, the protection-wise, and just overall, just reading holes and just getting better overall. But he's been showing the work and he's improving a lot already.
We're heading into day 3 of Commanders training camp. James and I will be here. We're going to have coverage throughout all our shows on Wavy and Fox 43 throughout the evening and into late at night. But for now, we're wrapping up day 2 in Ashburn. For James Kattato, I'm Craig Loper. This is a Sports Wrap.
All right, thanks, fellas. Again, coverage from Commanders training camp continues through the week on Wavy News 10, the Sports Wrap, and Wavy.com. So if you missed anything, go over to Wavy.com, where we also have some web exclusive content. Ooh.